In this lesson, we're going to combine two of the techniques that we've looked at. And this, as you take more advanced algebra classes, you have to be very aware when you're factoring of using more than one technique. You should always be looking at a polynomial that's supposed to be factored to see if it has a greatest common factor. After that, then you will look at other techniques. In this lesson, we're going to then follow up with trial and error because these are going to be trinomials. So we're going to use two techniques. All right, let's look at our problems. The first one, give myself a little more room on these. I have 7x squared plus 28x minus 84. Before I know that I look at this and see a trinomial, and hopefully I begin to think about the parentheses for trial and error. But before I go there, 7x squared, 28x minus 84, those all have a common factor of 7. This problem will be much easier, and you have a better chance of getting it right if you factor the 7 out. So divide all of those by 7, and you'll have x squared plus 4x minus 12 as the trinomial factor. Now, you've done one step of factoring. But now that you know more about trinomials, there is a possibility that this trinomial can be factored by trial and error. Something that's super important. Don't lose the 7. It is a factor. All right, but I'm going to ignore it for a minute and go over here and work. The last sign is negative. What that always tells me when the last sign is negative is that I have 1 plus and 1 minus, and the big factor will be a plus. So 12. It could be 1 times 12, or 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. I have to try to get an outer and inner difference to be 4. Well, 2 and 6 have a difference of 4. The big number, which is the 6, goes in the plus. The smaller one over here in the minus, and I sort of forgot my x's. Let's check it. X times x is x squared. Outer product is negative 2x. Inner product is positive 6x. That gives me positive 4x. Positive 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. To finish the check, you would then distribute the 7. 7 times x squared is 7x squared. 7 times 4x is 28x. 7 times negative 12 is negative 84. To get this correct, you will need 7 times x plus 6 times x minus 2. You need all of those factors. All right, let's look at number 2. I have 2x squared minus 44x plus 114. Looking at all those, common factor. You need to really work on training yourself to look for a common factor. The common factor is 2. When you divide out the 2, you get x squared minus 22x plus 57. All right, that's going to be a little bit easier to work on. I hope, but there's not a promise, that I can factor this trinomial into those two binomials. Don't lose the 2. All right, now I have to have both of these signs match the middle, so they're both minus, x and x. Now, factors of 57. Well, I don't carry the factors of 57 around in my head. I do know 1 times 57 is a pair. I know 2 doesn't go into it. 3 goes in there 19 times. Well, that's what I need because 3 plus 19 gives me 22. So one of those is x minus 3, and one of them is x minus 19. And I've got my 3 factors for this trinomial. All right, we've got 2 more to look at. The next one, I have 4x to the 6th plus 48x to the 5th plus 108x to the 4th. They all have a common factor of 4. They also have a common factor of the low power of x, which is x to the 4th. So I'm going to factor out a 4x to the 4th. That's going to leave me with x squared plus a 12x plus, 4 is going to go in there 27 times, and the x to the 4th divide out. Don't stop there, because there is a possibility that this trinomial can be factored further. Also, don't lose that beginning factor. All right, I need, the last sign is positive, both signs match the middle, so they're both pluses. I need an x and an x. Factors of 27. Well, 1 times 27 is a choice. 2 doesn't go into it. 3 and 9. 3 plus 9 add up to be 12. So it's 3 and it's 9. All of the problems in this lesson help you practice and become aware of first greatest common factor, then trial and error. All right, last one. I have 5t to the 5th minus 35t to the 4th plus 50t to the 3rd. Common factor, is there one? Yes. 5 goes into all of those. They also all have t's. I can take no more than the low power, 5t to the 3rd. So I'll divide each of these by 5t to the 3rd. And that will give me t, use the quotient rule, squared minus 7t to the implied first plus a 10. We're going to keep 5t to the 3rd and see if I can factor that by trial and error. The last sign is positive. That means both signs have to match the middle, so they're both minuses. Factors of 10. It's 1 times 10 or 2 times 5. They have to add up to be 7, so it's pretty obviously 2 and 5. And I've said this before, it doesn't matter whether the 5 or the 2 is here. The commutative property would say they're the same. There are my 3 factors. So always take a look at, is there a common factor first?